Welcome back to Brands Hatch. We're all set for the final round of the Motorstar British Championship here. It's a championship that's already been wrapped up by South Africa's Jordan Weaving ahead of home firsts Joe Irving, Jayson Uribe there in third place. So those three positions locked in the championship, but this is going to be a cracking race because both Jordan Weaving and Joe Irving have massive problems in qualifying. Irving starts from 22nd on the grid, and there is Jordan Weaving on the 10th row. So James Hayden, much like we've seen in the British Superstock Thousands race here as well, we've got a champion at the back of the grid and we're all set for another cracker.
Yeah, very much so. It's going to make it interesting. The lucky thing for him is obviously the track's dried up quite a lot, so you know, he should be able to take most of the lines he wants rather than a thin little groove, but it should be exciting.
Okay, well, there's Ed Rendell, the 125 British Championship. Apparently he's got a pink fairing on as a bet.
Ooh, presumably. Is that like your jumper?
But it's on vogue. It's the autumn season. Let's get to James Whitton and Jack Bernicle.
I'm slightly disappointed it doesn't quite match your sweater, Matt. It's a relatively mild pink. I was expecting something a little more dazzling, shall we say.
If our Matt's jumper is on vogue, I'm glad I'm well out of touch. That's all I can say.
Ouch. Well, yeah, apparently Ed Rendell, he chose the pink, and I think Pete Banks pretty much, his sponsor pretty much challenged the new champion to be brave enough to go out and wear it. Well, the Pink Panthers of Jackie Vimont and Brock Glover were at the top of their game back in the 1980s with their JT leather gear in motocross Grand Prix, and here is Ed Rendell carrying on that grand tradition. He's also qualified well on the front row of the grid, and it's an all 125 two-stroke front row, which pleases James no end, because Brad Ray is on pole alongside Taz Taylor and Ed Rendell. The championship, Moto3, Weaving has already taken it ahead of Joe Irving, Jayson Uribe, thanks to Jason and his family for the bottle of Chardonnay. And Hobson and Taylor fighting for fourth place ahead of Brewers, and little Nesbitt has qualified extremely well on the second row of the grid. Sam Berman is 8th. The 125 GP standings, Ed Rendell already crowned champ by a handsome margin ahead of Taz Taylor, who's alongside him on the front row, and Bradley Ray, who had his EE seized during warm-up this morning and was cheerfully trudging back, ready to sort the engine out. It didn't do anything drastic to him, just quietly seized up. Arnie Shelton's running in fourth place in that championship ahead of Elliott Lodge, Greenwood, Owens and Hermansen. And the grid looks rather like this. Over the top of a picture of, I'm glad to say, of Catherine Green, who's qualified really splendidly in 14th place on her four-stroke KTM. Bradley Ray, Taz Taylor, Ed Rendell. That's an all 125 front row. Arnie Shelton, and then the front runners of Moto3, Asher Durham and his fella kid, Charlie Nesbitt. Third row of the grid is Jorrel Boerboom from the Netherlands with Elliott Lodge and American Jayson Uribe. Fourth row of the grid, Mike Brewers, Chris Taylor and James Hobson, all of them on Moto3 254 stroke. So a resounding mix, and let's hope that Bradley Ray, well, James, you said it was ideal conditions for a seizure this morning in warm-up. Hopefully it's not now. Yeah, kind of damp. You expect that with a two-stroke. You get it a little bit too lean, it runs a little bit hot, it goes like stinking and it seizes. That's what happens. Beautifully put. That's from a man who's obviously endured such sensations during the course of his career. Yellow flag waved at the side, Jack. There's a bit of confusion as to where people have to be on the grid. The line, the line kind of grid marshals will figure that out. So number 42, James Hobson, and number 90, Greg Greenwood, seem to be kind of swapping positions there. Well done, boys. Sort that one out. Okay, what a lovely little multicoloured grid we've got there with the pink of Ed Rendell. Look at him towering over that motorcycle on the left-hand side as they hit the throttle and nail it towards Paddock Hill Bend, and Bradley Ray gets a scorching start with Ed Rendell moving through into second place. A bit slow off the line, but fast enough when he got to Paddock Hill. So it's those two lads who lead the way. Both of them, of course, now tall, broad-shouldered fellas for riding these 125s. Bradley Ray at the front. do you know, folks, he hasn't got a ride sorted for next year. He is some talent, Bradley Ray. So if there's anyone out there fancies showing him the way, giving him a ride, then there are one or two things around, but nothing sorted yet.
Yeah, Bradley Ray came through the mini bike and mini moto Metro Kit route exactly at the same time as Kyle Ryder, the man we've just seen win the National Superstock 6 Championship, and was every bit as good every step of the way. They were real sparring partners. I actually think Bradley Ray's got a lot of talent, and he's far too big for these 125cc machines now. It's not so much important with the weight, you can keep your weight down, but it's the size of him. He cannot get tucked in. You can't get those shoulders and elbows. Look at him, his elbows and knees. That makes a big difference on these things.
He and the second-placed Ed Rendell, of course. So look at the lead that Ray has got already as he just launches down Dingledell, up the hill, into Sheen Curve. He has simply taken off in the afternoon sunshine on the first of 12 laps. Ed Rendell running in second place in celebratory pink. And as they go out into clearways, we'll find, I'm intrigued to know how much of a lead Brad Ray has opened up right off the start. Well, let's hope there's no seizures in line for him this time. And,
that's Jordan Weaving, he's 34.
Jordan Weaving has gone down. Jordan Weaving has been involved in some kind of mishap there that's taken the South African out. Of course, he was starting from way downfield, and it obviously has caught this out. He was starting from 28th place on the grid, so the South African newly crowned Moto3 champion is out. Bradley Ray leads the way by 2.1 seconds from Rendell, Durham, Irving, Nesbitt and Uribe. So a good start then for Asher Durham, riding bike number 64 from Derby for their Steve Patrick 125 racing team. SPRacing.com.
Yeah, well, Joe Irvin's come from 22nd on the grid thanks to an oil pressure sensor going down in qualifying, and it should. Here we go. This is Jordan Weaving.
Oh, what happened?
He got hit. That's what happened. Completely not Jordan Weaving's fault. That the other rider went completely under him, lost the front, and took him down. You wouldn't be happy with that.
No wonder he looked slightly disenchanted, shall we say. But James, I hadn't realised till you mentioned Joe Irving has just nicked third place.
He went across the line fourth after one lap. This is from 22nd on the grid, and here he goes up. That's the man, number 66, orange KTM. That's on first, Joe Irving. Second in the Moto3 Championship. He's had a lot of bad luck, actually. He's crashed while leading. I know crashing isn't, you can say technically not bad luck, it's his fault, but yeah, he's been a fast rider all year, as Joe, and now takes second. Where we go?
Not quite.
He's
got the pink fairing of the Pete Banks racing team ahead of him. Ed Rendell, though, desperately trying to tuck in. The 125, though, is rapidly overhauled by the orange red line KTM. So Joe Irving, with that really neat black and orange helmet design, moves through into second place then. Bradley Ray sets a fastest lap already, 1:35.274. He has a lead of 3.8 seconds, but Irving, of course, now has some clear track to see if he can overhaul the race leader.
Yeah, Brad Ray's getting down to something like the times he did in practice. 34.9 he qualified out. That's closer than any other class has been so far today, because the track is drying out. There's less and less damp patches, and that's it, clinging on longer than I thought, these damp patches.
Yeah, because we've had sunshine pretty much all afternoon, haven't we, out there? So there is Joe Irving, number 66, getting the better of Ed Rendell, already crowned 125 GP champion, in the footsteps, of course, of the likes of Kyle Ryde and Luke Jones.
Yeah, in fact, Joe Irving, really good mates with Kyle Ryde. Him and his dad were out there applauding Kyle getting him his championship presented, because, here we go. Sam Berman, I think, storming off, yeah.
I think one of the ladies is looking very the lady, Sam Berman, looking very disenchanted there with Kai Johnson.
Kai Johnson's
on an Aprilia 125.
You would think was to blame for that. Well, certainly Sam Berman thought he was to blame anyway.
Yes, that was a proper ladylike stomp.
Yeah, it was, wasn't it? Yeah.
Well, you fool.
Where we're looking.
Oh, well, that's where it's happened, on the entrance to Surtees. And look at Sam throwing her hands up as if to say, what was that about then? So, number 13, then, the unfortunate Sam Berman from Messingham on the WNT Berman Racing Honda disappears from the race. There's the leader going through. Second place for Joe Irving.
You know what Messingham is, don't you? Posh part of Scunthorpe.
Oh, is it?
Yes,
it is. I didn't know.
Nice
I honestly didn't know Scunthorpe had a posh part. I thought it was Rob McElnay.
Not that Scunthorpe isn't posh, but it's a little bit posher than Messingham.
Okay. And they've Bradley
That's Brad
Ray.
Ray, that's your leader.
Bradley Ray's fallen, and he's in the grass. Oh, what a shame. Well, he'd set another fastest lap, 1:34.94.
That's seized. It's seized.
Has it?
Yeah, that's the bike seized up again. Do you see the way it just flicked out from the rear? Just flicked. That's definitely a machine problem. I'm convinced. Although look, the rear wheel's going round, but I'd be surprised if that wasn't a machine failure. Just the way it went.
So Brad Ray, bless his heart, the Fab Racing EEC, the trudge back for the bespectacled young man from the deep southeast. He's even further down into Kent than we are here, and he actually hails, of course, from Lydd, down in the deep southeast. Well, he's gone out. That means Joe Irving from 22nd on the grid leads the way. And then Rendell, Durham, Nesbitt, Uribe are the young lads who are fighting over potential rostrum finishes then. So Joe Irving leads it, Rendell in second, and then that third place up for grabs, Durham, Nesbitt and Uribe. We're on to the sixth lap of 12 here in the final race of the season for the Motorstar British Championship. Both 125 and 250 categories already decided. Joe Irving leading the way handsomely by 2.8 seconds from Ed Rendell, the 125 GP champion. Taz Taylor's burst through into third place. Then this group of Asher Durham, Charlie Nesbitt and Jayson Uribe are fighting over that fourth place.
Yeah, Charlie Nesbitt, the little fella there, well, where is it? That's number 86. He qualified really well, and he's another rider who's finding his feet a little bit. He's another tiny lad, but you can't see him. No shoulders visible, nothing, and that, like I say, makes a massive difference. Also, slipstreaming, like I keep saying in this class, is really important. It's dead important. You get out of the corners well and get stuck in behind the rider in front, and that'll really help you. It'll probably make 4 bike lengths on a straight if you get in the right position.
That's number 86, Charlie Spud Nesbitt, the schoolboy.
I never like that, because I don't think he likes it. I've called it him a couple of times, and he never smiles.
Oh, OK. Well, I'm sorry, Spud, but it seems a good nickname to me.
He's riding well. He's riding well at the minute.
He's got quite a record for such a child, James. He was second in the British Mini GP 70cc Championship in 2011. He won the Spanish Mini GP 70cc Championship in 2012. Yeah. And then was the Aprilia Silvertine's newcomers champion last year. So he's got quite a record, but he's coming under challenge now from that young man from the States, number 36, Jayson Uribe, another of the young men, the very young men in this race.
I saw Charlie Nesbitt, number 86, there was going up the inside into Paddock Hill. He'd actually fallen off and he was sat on the tyres, and the shot, it just looked like he'd been sent to sit on the naughty step. Do you know what I mean? Because he does look young. He looks like, oh, here we go.
That was a great move by Uribe, right around the outside there.
Good rider.
They went into Druids, round Asher Durham. So the Jayson Uribe, who is a 15-year-old from Napa Valley in California, he now makes a move through. His mum and his dad have swapped place. Oh, he's going to swap place if he's not careful with Asher Durham. His mum and his dad have kind of swapped places. Rebecca, his mum's gone back to California, and his dad's come over to keep an eye on the boy. I mean, he's only 15, for goodness sake.
Bringing a present of some nice Chardonnay wine with him for you.
Very, very kind.
Are you going to drink that on your own, are you?
No.
I'll
Take it home to share it. My many thanks to Mr. Uribe for that. Really kind. And it was apparently Jayson, thanks to him, who dropped it off while he wasn't here in our establishment. And he's having a real elbow-to-elbow for Asher Durham. He gets round the outside of him again, right up onto the back wheel of Charlie Nesbitt. So what I like about this, Jez, is we've got 13, 14 and 15-year-olds all going up for it, elbow to elbow.
Yep. Meanwhile, at the front, Joe Irving, number 66 on the KTM, has pulled out a nearly a 4-second lead. Fastest lap of the race to him, 34.8. That's the man. That compares with the lap record that's stood for 4 or 5 years now to James Lodge on a 1.25 two-stroke at 33.9. Hey, up. Somebody else has had a big one there.
Oh, there's that.
We think that is...
It's Chris Taylor.
That says
Chris
there.
Taylor, yeah. and it's...
well worked out, that, Jack.
James, he was in a battle for 4th place in the Moto3 Championship.
Yeah.
I think you safely say he's not going to clinch that 4th place in the Moto3 Championship. Oh, blooming heck, he's done it there. Oh, boy, he's done a bit of a James Ellison.
I'm fairly convinced he clipped the grass with his rear there.
Oh,
certainly the painted stripe, which should be just as slippery.
Wow, he's well done, son. He seems to have bounced well and survived that.
Yep, that's 100 mile an hour. Get off that. That's one to tell your mates back at school tomorrow morning.
Isn't it? Yes. that was number 70. No, it wasn't number 70, but we know that it was Chris
79,
Taylor.
Chris Taylor from Coventry.
79. Coventry boy on the elevator saddles and bridles Honda, James. That's very entertaining.
Needs a
now,
new
Taz
saddle
Taylor,
now.
look, Ed Rendell is closing back down on little Taz Taylor. So the tall lad from Chelmsford, who's been crowned 125 GP champion, pretty in pink, is making a very brave attempt to get back on track as he chases down Taz Taylor.
Fastest lap of the race to Taz Taylor, 34.8. That is about half a second quicker than Irvine in front, but Irvine has 4.6 seconds. He doesn't need to do anything stupid.
You're right about that lad, James. 15-year-old Chris Taylor. He will be able to go back to school and tell his mates about it when we come to Monday morning, presumably tomorrow morning, back home in Coventry. Meanwhile, as they drop down into Paddock Hill Bend, we're on the 9th lap of 12, approaching three-quarters distance. Joe Irving with a comfortable 4.6-second lead. This is the battle hotting up for second place.
Yeah, and if you get a chance and there's a head-on shot going down the back straight, just look at the difference in the way that Taz Taylor and Ed Rendell are able to get tucked in. They're completely different in size. Taz Taylor, little fella, ideal for these smaller machines. Look at that, elbows in, just about his head visible. Ed Rendell, shoulders, arms, knees, feet sticking out. His size flipping 11 feet. Good ride is Ed Rendell, you know.
So Rendell just tries to keep that quarter speed up because he knows he's going to need every ounce of speed as he goes down Pilgrim's Drop. Trying to get back on terms with Taz Taylor, number 6. Taylor running in second place in the race, just under 5 seconds astern of Joel Irving, who somehow managed to do Danny Buchan and come through from 22nd on the grid to take the lead within 3 laps. We're on the 9th lap of 12, approaching three-quarters distance. Spud Nesbitt in 4th place ahead of Jayson Uribe and Asher Durham. That three-way battle for 4th is still going on. Arnie Shelton trying to close down on them is in 7th. And then Joel Boerboom is in 8th ahead of Lodge, and Georgina Polden running in 10th place.
Yeah, this is the battle for 4th. That's Nesbitt, Uribe, Durham, Shelton. Good battle.
Cat Green running in the points in 15th place, having got hold of a spare Moto3 KTM.
Yeah.
As we go back to this battle, and yeah, this is a good ride by the relative veteran, 26-year-old at the back of that quartet, Arnie Shelton, trying to get on terms with the teenagers in front, who are all more than 10 years younger than him.
I'll show you all.
We're on to the 10th lap of 12, three-quarter race distance. Charlie Nesbitt still has the advantage, just. Jayson Uribe is... And look at this. Arnie Shelton has made a move through. He's got the better of Asher Durham as they slam downhill towards Bottom Bend. He's moved through. Whoops. One of our race-safe marshals getting...
There was definitely something being wheeled off by the marshal, and somebody with a dark helmet.
Oh, it's number 39 as... We think that it's 39 is Scout Fletcher from New Zealand. What a great name on the team BSB Honda. Meanwhile...
Does that help him somehow? Well, he's got to find his way back from Surtees now, so it might help him.
It might do. It's a long way from home.
He'll be in the woods with a knife between his teeth.
This is the battle going. Look, Asher Durham once more cuts back inside Arnie Shelton. Arnie Shelton, he's a very pleasant lad, Arnie Shelton. He doesn't seem to think that he's got a very good job. I think he's got a wonderful job maintaining and mending classic racing cars and things. I think it's a wonderful job to have. Comes from Lincolnshire, and he's in a bit of a dust-up now. They've just got split off a bit from Nesbitt and Uribe by that interference from the back marker. I think that was number 100, Stephen Campbell.
Yeah.
Uribe still trying to get on terms with Spud Nesbitt. So this is Swindon versus Napa Valley, California, as they come through the Brabham Straight, and Jayson Uribe goes for the inside line and drops downhill. Runs well wide and has to really hang on to it, and Charlie Nesbitt says thank you very much, I'll have that 4th place back.
Brilliant ride from Georgina Polden on the RS125 Honda. She's in 10th. Really good ride from her.
So we've got, what's lovely is we've got 2 lasses running in the top 15 then, with Georgina Polden on 127 in 10th and number 27 Kat Green in 15th. I got them mixed up earlier because they've obviously swapped numbers again. Georgina had taken Kat's 27 and now Kat had to have 127 and Georgina seems to have kindly handed it back.
It's seniority. You get your number back, what it is.
Yeah, the sixth former takes precedence.
Yeah. It's like the back seat of the bus, you know, going to school.
There's Georgina
Polden. The fifth formers get that.
Riding for Ryan Saxelby. On the same livery, of course, as Kat Green sprang to fame on with that victory at Cadwell 2 years ago.
And lots of people give her a lot of credit for being a real up-and-comer. They said she's got a lot of talent, and she will be probably the best lady pilot we've got within the next 4 years. No question.
All alone at the front. There he is, Joe Irving.
Hey, you don't... Look what happened at Donington Park. 8 seconds he had in the lead and flicked himself off coming out of the Melbourne. Look, it's not, and I've got to say, he doesn't do that so often. Joe Irving is generally a steady rider. As him and his dad were watching Kyle Ryder getting his prize, because Joe Irving's sister, Katie, went out with Kyle Ryder for quite a while, and Joe Irving's dad says like another son to me. He's a great lad, is Kyle.
Look at this lot, James, weaving their way down the Brabham Straight, looking for any which way through. And, Arnie Shelton does manage to clip past Asher Durham. Jayson Uribe was trying to prevent any slipstreaming by using every inch of tarmac he could. Oh, he has, but he brings it back round. Very likeable lad, and like Kyle Wright, very measured adult head on his shoulders, 15-year-old Uribe. In his second season, of course, finished 11th in the 125 GP Championship last year.
Yep. Likes living in Britain. The team's from up in Burnley in Lancashire, the FPW team.
And we've got, who's joined the back of this? It's Borbroom, the Dutchman, who's joined into this battle. He's just about tagged onto the back on bike number 26. Uribe has the advantage. Asher Durham gets underneath Arnie Shelton again. So Shelton, having caught this trio, hasn't been able to just do anything about them. Oops-a-daisy. We've got number 7, Jamie Ashby, coming up, and that means that the lad from Nuneaton was probably, don't know whether he'll realise how many people he's got to get out of the way of. We're on the final lap. It is going to be victory from Home Firth's trainee chef from the Toad and Tatey pub. This is him, number 66, Joe Irving. Splendid victory for Redline KTM to finish off his season. Second place will go to Taz Taylor from Mansfield. Brilliant ride by him.
No, he's not there. That's Ed Rendell.
That was Ed Rendell.
Taz Taylor's not there.
Taz Taylor's disappeared. Taz Taylor's disappeared. This is a race for a rostrum finish. It could be Taz Taylor's teammate that takes it on the line. Yeah, it isn't. Yes, it is. Uribe grabs it by a whisker from Charlie Nesbitt, Arnie Shelton, Borbroom getting the better of Asher Durham in the run into the line. So Jayson Uribe is rewarded as these two have a celebratory smoke out. That means that Jayson Uribe, with that fall of Taz Taylor's on the final lap, is rewarded with a rostrum finish. What a splendid way to finish his season. So Irving, Rendell, Uribe will be on the rostrum here. That, of course, is a kind of mixed-up result with Moto3, 125 two-stroke, and 2 Moto3 bikes with Arnie Shelton's 125 in the mix as well. But Joe Irving back on top where he probably feels he belongs with that beautiful orange Redline KTM. Back here at Brands Hatch, we find that Taz Taylor running strongly there in a rostrum position, second place in his sights on the final lap, and his Luyten Honda seized up down on the bottom straight there. And what a shame then for the kid from Mansfield. He failed to finish the race, which elevated his teammate, ironically, Jayson Uribe, to third place overall in the race and second Moto3 bike with Ed Rendell, pretty in pink there, second overall, and the leading 125 GP bike. Charlie Nesbitt, third on the Moto3 rostrum with a fourth place for Replicast ahead of Arnie Shelton, second 125, and then Borbroom, Asher Durham, and Georgina Polden becomes a rostrum finisher in the 125 GP class with a brilliant last lap when she got the better of Elliot Lodge and James Hobson. 11th place then goes to Greg Greenwood ahead of Sutherland, Joe Thompson, Hermansen, and Kat Green also in the points. Great to see the two ladies there in the points on numbers 127 and 27 respectively. And what about the championship standings? Well, we've got both 125 GP classes and Moto3 already decided. Jordan Weaving eventually, only won the Motorstar Moto3 championship by 3 points after that victory by Joe Irving. He'll probably spend the rest of his life faintly regretting his mistake at Donington Park. Jayson Uribe finishes a clear third ahead of Hobson. After Chris Taylor's crash, he has 4th place ahead of Taylor. Charlie Nesbitt just 3 points back in 6th place overall ahead of Brewers, Sam Berman, Joe Thompson and Ollie Simpson, the Australian.
Third place in that race then overall, and second in the Moto3 race, Jayson Uribe. Jayson, what a year you've had coming over here to do the British Championship, and you must be well pleased to finish it on the podium.
Yeah, for sure. I had a great time over here. I've definitely learned a lot in racecraft and riding. Just like to say thank you to everyone who helped get me here, my team, all my sponsors, Uribe, Pirelli, Motul, everybody who's helped me throughout the years. I just can't thank everyone enough.
What's it been like for you coming over from the States and seeing the size of this championship and the kind of crowds and circuits that you go to as well?
It was a big surprise, for sure. It was definitely a lot more professional than I think than my clubs were. But I definitely loved everything, all the fans, all the people, all the riders. Everyone was so fast. It's such a good series.
It's been great to have you as well. Well done, Jayson.
Thank you very much.
All right, second place then in that race overall, and it's 125cc victory for Ed Rendell. Ed, I reckon that pink colour suits you.
I know. Well, it's a bit of luck, isn't it? I mean, what a fantastic way to top off such a great year. You know, we've got 12 out of 12 podiums and we've won the championship. And, you know, we come here as a bit of a laugh with the pink fairing and you know, it's paid off. You know, we've had such a great year. And I can't thank everyone who's backed me enough. You know, everyone from Pete Banks and of course, my friend who bought all the helmets. You know, everyone who's just backed me this year, including Paul Wilcox, absolute lad.
Congratulations on a great season. Well done, Ed.
Thanks, mate.
And the winner of that race, and what a race it was from young Joe Irving. You're telling me 22nd on the grid to come through to win by 6 seconds.
Yeah, I know. I had really good pace all weekend in the free practice sessions, and then first qualifying was still damp, and I was topping that session, and then went on my out lap, started my first flying lap in the dry qualifying, and a sensor broke on the bike, so the fail-safe cut the engine to save the engine life. So I spent that session sat at the side of the track watching everyone else go around, and my name dropped down the qualifying order. So I knew I had everything to do, but I did it at Knockhill and nearly won the race, so my target was to come from near the back and win it today, and I've done it.
Well done, great ride. Congratulations, Joe.
Thank you very much. Seeing as it's the end of the season, I'm going to have to reel off a long list of names of people who have sponsored me. Shark Helmets, Valley Building Services, Dudeson's Motorsport, Dunsley Heat, Allsops, Engineering. Obviously, all my team have done a fantastic job all year. It's a shame we couldn't get the championship, but big thank you to them. They've done everything they could.
Well done, mate.
Cheers.
The final race of the season for the Motul Motorstar British Championships both decided. Bradley Ray gets away at scorching speed at the front and opens up an instant gap, while the distinctive pink fairing of the new 125 GP champion Ed Rendell breaks through into second place. There's a mishap at Stirling's Bendo that takes out the newly crowned South African Moto3 champion Jordan Weaving. He goes down, while Joe Irving from 22nd place on the grid brings the red line KTM whooping through into second place on the track ahead of Ed Rendell. Bradley Ray, though, is leading the way handsomely on the 125 EE until a moment when this happens. Something goes wrong on the bike and just pitches the luckless lad from Kent off. So Bradley Ray is out of the race. That leaves Joe Irving in overall lead, while a huge battle goes on behind him for the rostrum places. Massive fall for that particular lad, puts him well and truly out. Fortunately, Chris Taylor gets up and walks away after that crash in Dingledell. But for this lad, an immaculate ride, carving his way through the pack, and the trainee chef from Home Firth takes victory and finishes second in the Moto3 Championship with that splendid win. So Joe Irving then goes out in style here in the sunshine at Brands Hatch with a final race victory of the year. The Motorstar Championship 125 GP standings. Ed Rendell wins it. Taz Taylor, despite that misfortune on the final lap, finishes second. Same with Bradley Ray in a tie with Arnie Shelton, who did everything he could to squeeze through into third place in that battle during the last 2 laps of that race. Elliot Lodge finishes fifth ahead of Greg Greenwood, Hermansen, Georgina Polden, Josh Owens and Asher Durham. So the podiums will take place. This could be fairly entertaining. I'm not quite sure how many podiums we've got to go here. Probably 2 separate race podiums, followed by 2 separate championship podiums. And I think we've got we'll obviously have 125 GP 2-stroke championship, the Moto3 254-stroke championships, both coming up separately, perhaps without an overall race victory championship. Joe Irving, of course, the overall winner in this particular race, originally from Holmfirth High School. He's 17 years old now. And a lad who likes his BMX, his snowboarding, his mountain biking and his climbing. Because, of course, you know, when you come from Holmfirth, you're right out pretty much in the Pennines, so you've got plenty of countryside around you to enjoy your climbing and your BMXing. Not so sure, and your mountain biking. Not so sure about the snowboarding. You'd have to have an awful lot of snow around there for you to enjoy it. Knowing affectionately as Toad, through his dad's Toad and Tatey pub. He finished 8th in the 125 GP Championship in 2011, 4th in 2012, 1 point behind Catherine Green, and 3rd in Motorstar Moto3 in 2013. And if excuse me getting just momentarily distracted there, he's finished 2nd in the Motorstar Moto3 Championship of 2014. He won Brands Hatch Grand Prix twice in 2013, and he's finished with victory here again this year. So this glorious day at Brands Hatch, we've got 2 races left. Of course, we've already decided the British Superbike Championship. We've got the British Super Sport Championship to be decided. Georgina Polden comes and steps up onto the podium as 3rd place finisher in the 125 class. Well done, lass. Riding, of course, for Ryan Saxelby. And the winner of the 125 class, very much, of course, the winner of the 125 GP class overall, is the very likeable Ed Rendell, who, the tall lad from Chelmsford, really deserves to have a ride now. I don't know what he's got sorted for next year, but he's certainly a lad who could do with getting something sorted for next year. Ed Rendell. We like the pink. We'll have to tell Pete Banks of Banks Racing that we like the pink fairing. Looks very good. So the 23-year-old roadside breakdown assistant from Chelmsford, who works really hard to afford to go racing, can celebrate with victory in the final race of his championship-winning year. Congratulations then to Ed Rendell. He finished 2nd in the Motorstar 125 GP Championship in 2013 with a victory at Assen, and he's won one better in 2014, which is what any young sportsman would want to do. Just keep getting better. It's not that easy, is it? Keep improving during the course of championship results. Sam Berman there got 3rd place on the podium. She finished 5th in Moto3 last year. The 24-year-old from Messingham. Beg your pardon, 25-year-old now from Messingham. Taz Taylor steps onto the Motorstar podium. Ed Rendell on top of it. And this, of course, we're getting now onto the actual championship positions. Taz Taylor so unlucky when his bike stopped on the last lap there to lose that 2nd place in the race. Ed Rendell, therefore, inherited that and the 125 victory, as it turned out. So Ed Rendell, the GP3 Thunder Sport champion back in 2008, and even further back than that, the Dunlop Motorstar 70cc champion in 2007. Obviously like the title name Motorstars, because he keeps on winning things when Motorstar's in the title. So that was the 125cc GP Championship podium. We've also got the Moto3 guys to come, well, I suppose you would call it the class of the future, although I do get the very distinct impression that a lot of the guys around me who are ex-racers love those delightful little 125 two-stroke machines and don't want them to disappear too fast. So here we go. There's Charlie Nesbitt on the right. There's Jayson Uribe on the left. And your winner, of course, Joel Irving, the smiling Uribe on the left-hand side in his second season of racing at this level in the United Kingdom. As you can tell from his interview, he's enjoying every moment he spends over here in the UK. I've never once heard him gripe about the weather like UK native residents tend to do. For number 66, Joel Irving, then, that is a final victory. He didn't quite, as he said, it was a shame he didn't quite make it. Just 3 points shy of the championship. That one mistake at Donington Park certainly cost him dear. Now these lads, are they old enough to be messing around with champagne? Strikes me as a little bit... Joe Irving very kindly uses the champagne on himself rather than making a complete mess of the young ladies either side of the podium, which I'm sure older men would probably have been tempted to do. So Irving, of course, will have to relinquish the top deck of the podium for the championship podium, because hopefully Jordan Weaving wasn't done any damage by that collision as he went into Stirling's Bend early in that race. Weaving, of course, he also had a problem. He had a clutch problem that kept him out of the dry qualifying session, so he had to start from 26th place on the grid, and he got wiped out on the second lap of the race. And hopefully he was able to get up in one piece, because Jayson Uribe third in the championship, Joe Irving second in the championship, and Jordan Weaving is the champion. The Gloucester-based South African lad, Jordan Weaving, last lived in South Africa. He last lived in Cape Town, and look at that lovely undergarment, taking after Matt Roberts. He's absolutely flourishing pink. So definitely, as Matt says, it's the coming colour of the autumn. Congratulations then to Jordan Weaving, the man who wins the 2013 British Moto3 Championship.
Congratulations once again to Jordan Weaving. We're going to squeeze some racing in between the podium ceremonies next. It's the final decisive round of the British Supersport Championship.